Second time is a charm. So what did I do here? I think I quantized these first two tracks. So let me show you how I did that, because I don't want to do that moving forward. It's okay if a couple of these are perfect, but too much perfection is a bad thing. So anyways, before we get into all that, we need to edit, because if you listen to all these claps and stomps, they kind of get more in time after measure 2, so starting in measure 3. So we are going to basically concentrate on grabbing 2 measures after that point. This does need to be done in stereo pairs because each one of these tracks is picking up the bleed from the other mic. So if this is a stomp on the foot, it's still in there, and we want to cut these simultaneously. I thought it'd be good to make a group of the whole set of stomps, but it doesn't work because everyone is slightly in different spots. You can see that this one is significantly earlier than that one. So in any case, we're going to count 2 measures for each track, and we are going to make a cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1. So right there, I'm going to be in slip mode. I'm going to tab to transients. I'm going to hold down shift so I can get both of these. These are lined up, and hit Command E. I'm going to continue on. I'm going to guess that you guys are close enough that I can make these judgment calls and at least head back. And interesting, this one is a foot and a clap. It is important also to kind of do this tab to transients on the louder transient, which would be the stomp, because it starts with a stomp, not that it's always that stomps are louder. Well, they probably are. Okay, so I'm just kind of going through. I am making an assumption and eyeballing. Also, don't get confused and separate 2 people's stomps and claps. Like this. No, that's Camille. Oh, I should make these all the same color, but I'll do that in a second. See, like that. Don't do that. Okay, so make sure that that the feet and the hands belong to the same person. How did Chase get himself into this? Okay, so now I'm going to go into shuffle mode, and I'm going to go in and delete each of these, and these are just going to shuffle on over. I'm just highlighting and hitting delete. There probably is a better way, but I don't care. All right, now 2 measures. Can probably also eyeball this, but let's see. Okay, so same thing. And I'm still hoping that you guys are close-ish. Click, tab, shift, click, command E. Okay. Now I'm going to highlight and delete all of these. Now I can't highlight them together because if I hold shift down, why is that even doing that right now? Because they're all hitting at different times, you can see, for example, that selection is getting into someone else's track. So I don't need to be in shuffle anymore. So I'm going to cut off this part. Is it possible that there is fantastic stomping and clapping here? Yes. But I want to try and get to the next phase here. All right, where are we? Okay, so I'm just looking for a couple things to fix. I could probably spend a lot of time on this. Okay, so I'm picking on Mateo. Sorry, buddy. Really, it's this section here. Yeah, these are really out of line here. So what I'm going to do is tab over, cut. Every time I think about doing this, I'm coming up with other ways. And I'm just going to scroll it over and put it over there. So, yeah, that's already closer. Okay. All right, so that kind of took care of this whole side, and it's okay. This break here, believe me, it's not going to be heard. But I do want to... There's a little flamming going on here, right? And these should be somewhat aligned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on Elastic Audio, the rhythmic algorithm. And I am going to put the view from waveform into, not markers, but into warp. And I'm not going to touch these. And all I'm going to do, these are pretty in line. So I'm going to come over with my grabber tool, and I'm going to double click on both of these tracks. These are called anchor points. So what warping allows you to do is kind of note by note move them. And when you set up an anchor point, nothing to the left or the right, for that matter, of that anchor point will move. So if I moved everything like this, if I grab this and move, notice that a lot of stuff happened. But what I'm really going to do is I'm going to put an anchor point over here, and then I'm just going to move this note. I'm going to put an anchor point over here. I'm going to move this note. And same thing over here. Move this one. Over here. Move this one. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, that sounds better. I'm going to take it out of warp and put it back to waveform. All right, would I do these to all of these things? Maybe. Don't judge. Let's see as we add Andy into the mix. There's a click. It's okay, I'm not worried about it yet. I am, but I'm not. I'm using this track as kind of the guide of what the loop sounds like because, again, it is starting at measure 1, beat 1, and ending at measure 3, beat 1. None of these are like that. So this is just another opportunity to tell you that when you have a selection, it displays it in the counter here, and this is still in the 4th beat of measure 2. Adding that one didn't bug me too much. Let's see where we're at. Okay. These two. So I'm going to do the same thing. I can't do warping until I put on the algorithm. Rhythmic and rhythmic. Warp and warp. Not Kyle. Warp and warp. Zoom in just a bit. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. You know what? These are significantly off. How did that get all the way over there? Okay, that's fine. No judge. But right now, I cannot use Nolan as the mark. I need to kind of... Oof. I don't mind that. It's over here that it really starts. So I'm going to cut them right here. That's arbitrary, kind of. I'm going to put an anchor, an anchor, an anchor, and an anchor. An anchor and an anchor. An anchor and an anchor. Those that look better. Okay, you hear that click. We'll deal with that later. That sounded better. Keep going back to markers. Yeah, there's some stuff here, but it's okay. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I keep doing that waveform. Kyle. It sounds okay. Here comes Camille. All right, so Dylan in his stomps, he gets going. So what we're going to do, because I think this is giving us some boom, I'm just going to place my slip mode cursor. I'll tab to transients, and then I'm going to use the clip gain and bring down that clip. He's not the only one, but I think it's the conglomeration. Is it this one? Let's see. Yes. Yes, we have identified the problem. No, it's not really a problem. I'm going to rhythmic, rhythmic, Warp and warp. There's just a couple here that need to move. Mainly these two. Okay, let's anchor, 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 anchor. Again, that's with the grabber tool, so below the midpoint and double clicking. I'm going to move this one up. I'm doing this in slip mode this time, which is fine because you can also move your anchor when you're not satisfied with what you just did, like what I just did. I think those are okay. All right. I think we're good as far as like warping goes. So I'm going to put this back to waveform. Okay, so now Carson's track is the only one that is perfectly 2 measures long, as far as I know. I'm going back into grid mode, and I'm going to highlight all of these, which doesn't really do much for me. What happened to Andy here? All right, so I'm actually clicking with my shift button, shift key. I do not want to highlight that. So I'm kind of just trying to follow this line, or, you know, I am following the line because I'm in grid. And again, I don't think that having a little silence at the end here is going to be a problem. All right, so what I am going to do is I'm going to hit Command E to cut this. Then I'm going to hit Option Shift and the number 3, which is Consolidate Clip. Sorry, I'm pausing because I'm doing this all kind of in my brain, which is not working very well. Then I'll highlight these 2 pieces, get rid of them. So now we have doesn't loop perfectly. Why not? Someone's stomping certain late. Let's listen to the click track. It's all right. So what I could have done is I could have quantized these things, but then again, it would sound exactly the same. In fact, let's put these all, so highlighting, Option Shift. I'm going to put all of them into rhythmic, just so I can show you. I'm going to quantize it. Nope, I'm not. Just kidding. I'm going to undo because I don't want to quantize. And I'm going to make a group because they're all highlighted. And this is Stomps. And that way I can highlight them all like this. And then I'm going to hit quantize. I'm going to undo that because for some reason I am in 32nd notes. I'm going to go to 16ths. I'm going to hit quantize. And that just kind of killed everything. So I'm going to hit Command Z. I do not want to do that. Definitely not. Okay. I do think that we have more or less our vibe here. I'm going to get rid of these. Not needed. I'm going to put in a master fader. Nope, I'm going to put in a master fader just so I get a really good sense of the overall volume here. I'm also going to highlight all of these and make them the same color. All right, so now, yes, they are going through a folder that's not working. So my guy who put this together, whoever that might be, did not change the outputs to be the folder bus. Okay, so I can still listen to these. I am going to do some panning. I don't remember how many tracks we have, so I'm sure this will be somewhat duplicative. Let's leave some of them. I just want to keep making sure that I have the pairs together. Probably doesn't matter all that much. The panning really helped widen it out. I am going to put some compression on this routing folder. I think I will use the BF76. It's not perfect. It's really getting hit though, isn't it? All right, I'm also going to, I think, put in Maxim even more. Now, should we think about the volumes? Yeah. Undo the group before you make any moves. All right, so now we have that. I don't like that. We're going to put the, and by the way, it's that noise as we get to the end of the clips. So I'm going to put on the group. I'm going to go into slip mode. So this edit that I'm going to make is going to go to all of them. I am using the smart tool, and I'm just going to put a very small fade. And it's still there. That stinks. Let's try a bigger one. Don't hear it in the loop. Selecting, duplicating. Let's see what it sounds like with the vocal. I deleted the instruments.
Toss your dirty shoes in. Toss your dirty dirty shoes in my washing machine. Heart, baby, bang it up inside. I'm not wearing my usual.
All right, so they're on time. I am bummed about how this is looping at the beginning. So I am going to try something. I think it's that this opening click stomp is not loud across everything. So this is just an experiment. I am highlighting kind of in the middle of transients and hitting Command E, and I'm going to bring up every clip gain just a little bit. Kind of helped. Then I'm going to put it back together with Option, Shift, and 3. Option, Shift, and 3.
Toss your dirty shoes in my washing machine. Heart, baby, bang it up inside. I'm not wearing my.
Okay, and lastly, just to get a sense of what is possible here, I'm going to close this up again. I'm going to make an aux track. I'm going to insert a reverb. And I'm going to send the routing folder so I don't need to send each track.
Toss your dirty shoes in my washing machine. Heart, baby, bang it up inside. I'm not wearing my usual. Toss your dirty shoes in my washing machine. Heart, baby, bang it up inside. I'm not wearing my usual.
Okay. Not fun, but it's work.